Allegiance, which will be led by Commissioner Martin.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if we could have the roll call, please.
Hello, Chairman Grimm,
Here?
Vice Chair Looney,
Here.
Commissioner De Jesus,
Here.
Commissioner Hastings, Commissioner McCarthy,
Here.
Commissioner Savage,
Here.
Commissioner Martin, Student Commissioner Basso, absent, Student Commissioner Lieberman. Thank you.
Okay, moving along. Next item is the approval of the minutes from the meeting of November 5th. So if there's any changes, bring them forward, or if not, we'd entertain a motion. Commissioner De Jesus?
Seeing if there's no changes, I'll make a motion to pass the minutes from November 5th, 2024.
Commissioner Hastings? I'll second that. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes. And the motion passes unanimously with Commissioner Savage abstaining. Staff, are there any changes to the agenda tonight?
Good evening, Chairman Graham. No changes tonight. Thank you.
Very good. Then let's move on to oral communications. This is an opportunity for anyone from the public to speak on an item that is not on the agenda. And you could come forward now, and please fill out a speaker slip if you come forward. Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the public hearing items. Just with a little briefing on the public hearing process, for those that don't know, the first step is staff will give a presentation on the project. Then the applicant will give their presentation. At that point, the commission has an opportunity to ask questions of the reports. At that point, we will open the public hearing up for anyone to speak. And again, after that, it'll be closed and it'll move forward for planning commission discussion and action. So with that, let's move to item number 1. Which is a request for a special use permit for the installation of a new wireless communication facility located on Crestview Road. Could I have the staff report, please?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Chair Grimm, commissioners, staff, and members of the public. It's my pleasure to present to you tonight an application for a special use permit for a Pine Tree Wireless Telecommunications Facility, project number P24-0140. Project area is 3.65 acres, is one legal parcel, and the property address is 1010 Crestview Road. The existing land use is Cornerstone Christian Church, and the application is for a freestanding telecommunications tower disguised as a pine tree. The existing surrounding uses include residential to the north, south, east, and west, even across Highway 78. The general plan designation is MLD, medium-low density residential, and the zoning for the property currently is R1 residence. The proposed project, as noted, is a monopine tree telecommunications facility. This is for AT&T Wireless. Proposed tree will be approximately 37 feet tall, freestanding tower. This will include 12 antennas, a 375 square foot new equipment enclosure, and the special use permit is required because the project is within 500 feet of a residential zone and a residence. It's within a discouraged location and exceeds the allowable height limit in the R1 zone. This is the proposed site plan and the proposed location for the compound. This is the proposed compound plan, including the tower and the equipment enclosure. This is the proposed equipment plan for the ground-mounted equipment. This is the proposed antenna plan. This is the proposed elevation and what the tree would potentially look like, including the block wall enclosure, a different elevation angle. And we do have photo simulations of what this tree would look like from multiple different angles. This is from 1010 Crestview Road and the parking lot. 1010 Crestview Road as well, looking towards Highway 78. This is at the rear of the property, looking towards the west. This is what the proposed photo sim would look like, or the proposed project. And this is what it would look like from Highway 78. This is the coverage map currently for the area for AT&T. As you can see with the added cell tower, this would provide much more coverage to Mar Vista Drive, Crestview Road, Bellevue Drive, and the surrounding area. The proposed tower meets the maximum height in the zone, which is a 35-foot maximum. However, the faux branches and leaves extend to 37 feet. Per Vista Development Code 18.58.150, structures may be allowed to exceed height limit designated per the zone of the subject site, subject to a special use permit approved by the Planning Commission. The project is also in a discouraged location per Vista Development Code 18.92.070B1, but may be approved per a special use permit as well by the Planning Commission. Proposed tree integrates with existing landscaping within that vicinity and along the Highway 78. And the separation from the nearest residence is about approximately 130 feet. Staff's recommendation is to adopt Resolution 2025, granting a special use permit to construct and operate a wireless telecommunications facility consisting of 12 antennas and associated equipment mounted on a new 37-foot tall freestanding wireless tower disguised as a faux pine tree located at 1010 Crestview Road. That does conclude staff's presentation. Applicant is here as well for his presentation.
Okay, could the applicant come forward? Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good evening. Thank you for your opportunity to speak to you tonight. We are excited to present our new wireless facility. My name is Richard Glidden. I work with MD7 on behalf of AT&T. Yeah, excited to be here tonight and present. Thank you. This is, we'd like to highlight our target area summary. AT&T is proposing to build a new wireless facility to bring coverage to the greater surrounding residential area surrounding the Cornerstone Christian Church, along with providing coverage to Highway 78, Mar Vista Drive, and Sunset Drive. We'd also like to highlight AT&T's commitment to public safety. FirstNet is a critical network dedicated to first responders, helping them establish faster and more reliable communications to keep themselves and the public safe. AT&T is the sole deployer of FirstNet. AT&T provides a dedicated frequency to clear a communication highway in times of emergency. Some notable adopters, the San Diego City Police, the San Diego County Sheriff as well. AT&T sees public safety as its highest priority when proposing new cell sites. Prior to being here, a radio frequency safety report has been completed to ensure exposure is minimal and compliant with FCC rules and regulations. We have some photo simulations. These are also the same ones Rafi has shown earlier, so we'll go through these quickly. From the parking lot again, from Highway 78. Oh, I'd also like to show some more coverage maps. These ones are a little bit more focused. Here we see the existing coverage without the tower. We have green zones, which are reliable coverage. Yellow is going to be less reliable. Red, even more untrustworthy, less reliable coverage. With our proposed new cell site, we will deliver an improved cell coverage to the surrounding areas, especially to the southwest, those residential areas along that Highway 78. The next slide is just going to show the coverage that our proposed cell site is capable of producing on its own. Thank you. Any questions?
Questions for staff or the applicant? Commissioner Looney?
So is this a tower for emergency services only?
No, it is not. It services both the community, or the customers of AT&T, but also has dedicated antennas and frequencies for first responders. So they'll be able to operate on their own wavelength or their own
'Cause
broadband.
I know they work on a whole different frequency.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
If there's no more questions or discussions, we open the public hearing. Anybody that wishes to speak, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and move to Planning Commission discussion. Or a motion. Commissioner DeJesus.
I have a question. Is the Mar Vista Tower at the Motel 6, or not the Motel 6 anymore, the residential housing, is that the same company, or is it will it work together with this antenna?
The Motel 6 sign, or the Motel 6 sign, I don't believe that was AT&T. I'm not sure if you're aware of, I don't think it was. I think it was Verizon, if I'm not mistaken. But that would be a completely separate cell tower, separate carrier. But in the future, if additional carriers wanted to co-locate onto this tower or the Mar Vista Tower, staff would direct them to go to those locations instead of having a new tower be installed along the corridor again.
That's great. Thank you.
Other questions or discussion? If not, we can move forward with the motion. Commissioner Savage.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution granting a special use permit for the installation of new wireless telecommunications facility consisting of 12 antennas and associated equipment mounted on a new 37-foot tall freestanding wireless tower disguised as a pine tree located at 1010 Crestview Road.
Very good. Commissioner Martin.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes. Project passes unanimously. Okay, moving to the second public hearing tonight. It's a request for a special use permit for the approval and operation of a bail bondsman's office on 1463 West Vista Way. Could we have a staff report, please?
Yes, thank you, Chairman Grimm. This project before you is a special use permit for Balboa Bail Bonds, Project P24-0331. This application is for project at 1463 West Vista Way, Suites A and B. Project area is 1.13 acres, one legal parcel, and the existing land use is a multi-tenant retail center. Existing uses that surround the property are commercial, residential, multi-residential, and open space and Highway 78. The general plan designation for the site is CN, Neighborhood Commercial, and the zoning is C1, Commercial. Proposed project is for a bail bonds business. The request requires a special use permit since it is within the C1 commercial zone. No changes are proposed for exterior facade. Minor tenant improvements are recommended for existing office space. The proposed use is office use only, and most business operations and transactions are handled digitally. This is the proposed location of the business for the site. The proposed floor plan, which is very minimal. In regards to zoning, property zone C1, business will consist of office suite for office use. Proposed location is appropriate as it is along a commercial corridor, West Vista Way and Highway 78, and is within a mile radius of the county court complex. Ordinance requirements, bail bonds business is allowed in the C1 zone subject to issuance of a special use permit per Vista Development Code 18.38.02028. Primary considerations for approval of the special use permit are site functionality and the compatibility of the proposed use with the surrounding land uses. In regards to findings, proposed use is consistent with the general plan. Proposed use in the manner to be conducted is permitted in the applicable zone. Site for the proposed use is sufficient to reasonably accommodate the planned activities. Design, location, size, and operating characteristics of the proposed use will be compatible with the existing and planned land uses in the vicinity. Proposed use will provide the neighborhood and/or city with a service or facility that will contribute to its general welfare. And proposed use will not be unduly detrimental to health, safety, or general welfare. Staff's recommendation is to adopt Resolution 2025, granting a special use permit for the approval and operation of a bail bonds business on a 1.13 acre site located at 1463 West Vista Way. That does conclude staff's presentation. Applicant is here to answer any questions you may have as well. Applicant does not have a presentation at this time.
Very good. Questions of the applicant or staff from the Planning Commission? Commissioner Looney?
Just a comment. In the report, it states that they want to relocate due to undesirable circumstances. If that's something that the city needs to be aware of, it should be noted, not tonight, but if there's something that needs to be done that's driving business away from that area, I think some consideration to be.
I can let the applicant shed some light on that if they would like to come up. As far as why they're moving from their current location to the new location, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here to speak with you about this tonight. So to answer your question about the undesirable conditions that we have at our other office, which is located at 400 South Melrose Drive, Suite 108, it is right across from the Vista Court complex. However, we have myriad of problems going on over there. One is we've been going back and forth with the landlord about tenant improvements that are needed. The space that we're in has extreme electrical problems, and there are some safety concerns. And we hold ourselves at a very high standard. We provide our staff with very, very nice accommodations for them to be comfortable and safe. So we haven't been able to reach an agreement with them that makes any financial sense. And secondly, we are currently in a lawsuit with another bail bond agency over there, and we are the plaintiffs, and we've been having a lot of problems with this particular owner. And so it's just in our best interest and in the interest of our employees' safety to not be in that location anymore. So we needed to remove our staff from that vicinity.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Didn't have to be that specific, but I appreciate that.
I just figured I would tell you guys the truth and the details.
Because if it is a public issue, then the city would take steps to make sure that it's a safe place.
Which we appreciate, yeah. And if we felt that it would rise to that, we would let you guys know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We were all happy to hear it wasn't a crime issue.
Yeah.
Other questions from the commission? If not, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
With that, we will open the public hearing for public testimony and anyone that wishes to speak. I actually have some speaker slips here, but maybe it was just people that were here to answer questions. Joshua? Okay. Mercedes? Got her. And Gabriel? Okay, very good. So there's no other speakers. Very good. Anybody else from the audience wish to speak on this item? Please come forward. If not, I'll close the public hearing and open it for Planning Commission discussion. Commissioner Looney. That's from last time. Okay, sorry. Okay. If not, we're ready for a motion.
Chairman Graham, the student commissioner may have comments, or maybe we want to ask the student commissioner if she has any comments
Oh,
or questions.
I'm sorry, my mistake. Did you want to come up and speak? Oh, no, I'm okay. You're good. Okay, thank you. Commissioner DeJesus.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2025, I don't see, a P24-0331, granting a special use permit for the approval and operation of a bail bonds business on a 1.13 acre site located at 1463 West Vista Way.
And I'll second that.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes. And the item is approved unanimously. Moving to item number 3. It's a public hearing request for an amendment to previously approved special use permit to convert a portion of an existing bank building that had an ATM drive-through into a restaurant at an existing commercial center at 640 Hacienda Drive. And if we could get a staff report, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman Grimm, commissioners, staff, and public members. The third public hearing items tonight is a special use permit amendment for a drive-through restaurant at 640 Hacienda Drive, planning case P24-0340. Project location, the project's area is 0.94 acres. And right now, the building is an existing vacant retail bank building with a drive-through ATM. The subject site is located within an integrated 10-acre commercial retail center at the southwest corner of Hacienda Drive and South Melrose Drive. Existing businesses within the retail center include a fitness center, restaurants, office, a gas station, and an automatic car wash. All 6 parcels that compose the shopping center maintain a mutual access and parking throughout the commercial center. On the left side is the general plan map. The land use designation for the project site is general commercial. Surrounding general plan land use designations are general commercial to the east and west, civic center to the south, and open space to the north. On the right side is the zoning map. The subject site is zone C1 commercial. The surrounding zones are C1s to the east and west. Civic activity to the south, and open space to the north. The land use is surrounding the shopping center, including the county court complex and detention facility. To the south, commercial shopping center to the east, a retail cannabis store, and a vacant commercial zone land to the west, and State Route 78 to the north. A little bit about the history of the project. The existing commercial center was originally entitled in 1999. The Planning Commission originally approved a site development plan, special use permits, comprehensive site program, and a tentative parcel map to develop a approximately 111,000 square foot commercial center. There was a total of 6 amendments to the development from 1999 to 2007. In 2004, the Planning Commission approved a special use permit to replace a restaurant path building with a retail or bank use with a drive-through ATM facility. The proposed project is to request an amendment to a previously approved special use permit to convert a portion of the existing building at 640 Hacienda Drive to a drive-through restaurant and extend the drive-through queue area. The floor plan proposes to convert 2,300 square feet to the existing space into a restaurant and maintaining 3,000 square feet for bank use. The existing ATM drive-through would be repurposed at the drive-through for the proposed restaurant. The future restaurant is anticipated to open from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m., 7 days a week, with 4 to 5 employees. Building design, landscaping, and parking are to remain. Here is the site plan, the proposed site plan. So there's no change in the building square footage, architectural design, parking, and landscaping. There's one minor modification to the building is the drive-through window will be relocated to the northwest corner of the building. The existing ATM drive-through is to be converted to a restaurant drive-through. As of right now, both suites are vacant and no tenants have been identified for the bank and the restaurant. Here is the proposed floor plan. The existing bank suite is 3,000 square foot. The bank is already built out. The proposed restaurant would be 2,300 square foot. Only a shell vacant space is proposed. A more detailed floor plan would be provided for tenant improvement building permit once the tenant is identified. Here's the drive-through layout, the proposed drive-through layout. The drive-through is located on the eastern side of the building, wrapping around the northern face of the building and exiting on the west side of the building. The entry of the drive-through has 3 lanes, narrowing down to a single pickup lane. The proposed drive-through queue can serve up to 18 to 19 vehicles. Here is the perspective view looking north from the southern parking lot. And here are on the left is the perspective view looking south from Hacienda Drive, and on the right is the perspective view looking east. Here are some additional drive-through renderings. Public policy consideration, the proposed project is consistent with the development code, design guidelines, and general plan designation for the site of general commercial. The land use designation supports commercial uses that can serve residents and businesses at the regional level while being located along major travel routes and at key intersections. The C1 commercial zone allows for commercial retails and restaurants at uses permit by right. A drive-through facility requires a special use permit. By approving the applicant's request for a special use permit amendment to convert the ATM drive-through to a drive-through restaurant, the proposed project would be consistent with uses permit in the C1 zone. Environmental review, this project is category exempt from requirement to prepare an environmental document pursuant to the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines, Section 15332, in field development projects. Staff recommendation is to adopt Resolution 2025, granting an amendment to a previously approved special use permit to convert a portion of an existing bank building with an existing ATM drive-through to a drive-through restaurant within an existing commercial center located at 640 Hacienda Drive. And that concludes staff presentation for this item. The applicant doesn't have a presentation, but they are here to answer any question.
Very good, thank you. Is Sam with you? Okay, so those are my two speaker slips, so thank you. Open it up for Planning Commission discussion or questions? Commissioner Looney?
Question for staff. Did staff give any consideration to the volume of the call boxes in that drive-up window? If they're operating from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m., did staff see maybe the volume of those call boxes being an issue to the adjacent properties?
There was a traffic assessment that's been done, and during the peak busy time of the coffee shop in the region, and most of the times vary from like 1 vehicles to 17 vehicles.
Now, this would
Yeah.
be when I pull into the drive-through, I place my order on a microphone. The people in the restaurant are going to respond to my order. The volume of that call box, was that considered in staff's review of the application?
Since the subject site is not adjacent to residential zone and is along the major street, so yeah, volume was not considered during staff review.
Okay.
Other questions? Commissioner Savage?
Is there any requirement for them to make sure that each one of those 3 lanes can serve customers? Because this will be a tenant, I'm assuming, coming in. So we don't really know the layout of how those call boxes are gonna be. Is there some kind of requirement that we can have in there that all 3 of these lanes are active? Because we fit 18 vehicles in there the way we have it. But if they only ended up using one of those 3 lanes, we might have a problem with traffic.
So as a conversation I recently had with the applicant, so the 3 lanes would be used for queuing purposes only, and after 3 lane narrow down to 1 lane, then there would be a point of order.
Okay,
Yeah, doing the on the 1 lane.
okay, perfect, yeah, thank you.
Commissioner DeJesus?
Piggybacking on your question, do the 3 lanes each have an ordering station, or do they queue into 1 line and then order?
They would queue into 1 line and then order, but I would have the applicant confirm that if he has any updated information.
Good evening, Chairman Graham and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Vince Catula, and I represent 640 Hacienda LLC. Through the chair, Commissioner DeJesus, the response to your question is that the current call box layout is undetermined, but that the tenant would identify if 3 call boxes at each of the W lane would suffice, or if they would queue into the 1 drive aisle where 1 call box would be available. Yeah.
And I'm not concerned about the noise of the microphones because it's such a commercial area and there's no residential really within hearing distance of that. But it would be quite aggressive to have 3 ordering stations queuing into 1 line. So just kind of an aesthetic thing more than anything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, just to confirm, just so that my peace of mind. But you mean a call box after the 3 lanes? 3 lanes would still be utilized, and that 1 ordering point would be after those 3 have been merged together, right?
That's correct. So from the pickup window back all the way to the end where the 3 lanes merge, there should be about 6 or 7 cars, which is sufficient time for the restaurant or the coffee shop to prepare the food or the drink that the seventh car would have then picked up. So the 3 lanes that are containing the stack are more for getting the traffic off the drive aisle area.
Cool. Thank you.
Deal.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Seeing none, we will open the public hearing for anybody that wishes to speak on this item. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and open it up for Planning Commission discussion or a motion. Commissioner DeJesus?
It's my night to make motions, I guess. I'll make a motion to approve or adopt Resolution 2025 P24-0340, granting an amendment to a previously approved special use permit, PC 8-078, to convert a portion of an existing bank building with an existing ATM drive-through to a drive-through restaurant within an existing commercial center located at 640 Hacienda Drive.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. Can we cast our votes, please? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Commissioner,
Yeah, I'll second.
I thought you, I was way ahead of you that time. Sorry. Now we have one.
Yeah.
Can you cast your votes, please? And the motion is approved unanimously. Final item tonight is an action item. And regarding the Downtown Committee representative, the commission has been given the authority to appoint someone to that role, and I believe Mr. Vaca is going to give us some background.
Thank you very much, Chairman Grimm. You hear me okay? Okay. Good evening, Planning Commission and Chairperson. So we attached the October 22nd City Council Agenda Report, which went to the council to determine whether or not they want to establish a downtown committee to look at the historic core and traffic and parking and public space opportunities. And Council Member Karina Contreras had led that item, and it was determined by the City Council that they would establish a committee. Council Member Contreras is on the committee, and there will be 11 additional members, one of which will be a planning commissioner. We already have Clay McCarthy on the committee as a property owner. So for the purposes of this evening, for you to deliberate and select a committee person, Commissioner McCarthy will recuse himself and stay seated and listen to the discussion, but will not participate. We anticipate that the effort will take approximately 8 months with 1 meeting per month. The first meeting is March 7th, and it's a Friday evening at 6 p.m. at the Avo Theater. So with that, I'd be available for any questions. Otherwise, if you guys can please work together to select a committee person.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Vaca? If not, is there interest from the Planning Commission of serving on the committee? This may be easier than I thought.
Yeah.
I assume we need a motion. If I could get a motion supporting our volunteer. Commissioner Savage?
Yeah, do we have any verbiage that we're supposed to be using here? Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Commissioner DeJesus to be our representative on this, this committee.
Very good. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Very good. Seconded by Commissioner Looney. You can cast your votes, please. Motion, you're now on the committee. That's one of the easiest appointments I've ever seen. Okay. Any reports from the Planning Commission members? Seeing none, comments from the Community Development Director, Assistant Director, and Attorney.
I'd like to go first and just give a couple brief updates on some notable projects. So you may or may not be aware, but Costco is going to reestablish the location of their gasoline service stations, and they've already started that effort. So in the northwest portion of the parking lot, it's already fenced off and work has commenced where the future gasoline stations will be going, but it's taking approximately 20% of the parking away for shoppers. So be aware of that. Try to go off-peak so it's more manageable for you. That's going to take approximately 8 months. Then the Vista Grande project, which is up off of Wormlands, is in the current process of grading. It's 25 lots. They're all approximately half acre or larger. And Shea Homes is the developer. And they've run into a lot more substantial bedrock than they anticipated, so it's taken more time. But that's a well-designed project, and we're looking forward to seeing construction commence after grading. The Camino Largo project, which is off of North Santa Fe, it's a 46-unit small lot subdivision, and they're getting very close to obtaining their grading permits. So we would hope that they'd break ground here in the next 4 to 6 months. And the Park Avenue Apartments at 165 Eucalyptus, the Circle property with the former church, is currently very close to obtaining their grading permits, and the developers indicated they anticipate grading in April of this year. So those are some notable updates we want to share with the commission.
Commissioner Looney? Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Martin?
Do we have any update on the small lot project on Madagual and Melrose?
Yes, they're also very close. They've obtained their grading permits, and they're getting close to getting rolling on that as well.
Commissioner Looney?
The city parking lot has been fenced off for weeks.
Months.
How's the progress of that? What's the completion date of the solar?
So they've actually worked quite expeditiously, actually, and they're ahead of schedule. So we're hoping that they'll open that up in the next month or so.
Okay.
Just doing the fine tuning at this point.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all very much. Happy New Year.
Thank you. If nothing else, we are adjourned. Oh,
One question
okay.
for staff.
Too late, Don.
The first application was for the cell tower at that church. Just adjacent to that property, to the east, is a narrow strip of land that parallels 78 that has numerous abandoned vehicles there. And they've been there for probably 5 to 7 years. Is there any policy or any environmental regulation that prevents that many vehicles being stored or otherwise placed on a private parcel?
Yeah, we can definitely get in touch with code, or actually first look at what the zone is, and if they're abandoned, they're not in working condition at all, they're just sitting there, there could be an issue for code enforcement to take a look at, and then, but we can definitely check into that. And you said it's a narrow strip of land right east of the site, the church site?
Yeah, it abuts the church property.
Okay, yeah.
And
I
it
can
was
def-
even in the picture that was presented. You could see the vehicles there.
Sure, I'll definitely look at that, and I'll get in touch with the
Thank you,
staff.
Patsy.
Yeah, no problem. Since I have the mic, may I just talk about the date? Possibility of the next meeting could be February the 18th. So that would be the day after, the 17th is a holiday. But if you could just pencil that in on your calendars, I think I might have at least one project I know that I do have to bring forward. There might be one other project, but if you can just pencil that in for now, that'd be great. Thank you very much. That's all I have, unless Amanda Guy has anything to share.
Okay, Very good. I think we are now adjourned.
Exception.